Congratulations, your baby is born. Finally, breastfeeding is going great. You set up a routine with your little one, you are still exhausted, but not as bad as before. And then it hits you in the face. Whoa, it's almost time to report back to work. Your 12-week maternity leave is getting closer and coming to an end. I hear you, mama. If only you could just stay with home and be with your precious baby. Panic starts to creep in and you start to worry. You need to start stashing some of that breast milk. Welcome to Mother Baby Central, your resource for great information regarding pregnancy, postpartum, newborn care, and baby's first year of life. Mom struggles are never ending. I hear you loud and clear. So I came up with solutions to ease some of these challenges, most specifically about pumping and saving breast milk for future baby use. In this video, we are going to talk about when to start pumping and saving milk for the baby when you go back to work, how often you should do it and how long, and how to store your pump milk when you are not at home. There are different reasons why mom wants to pump. This video mainly discusses pumping to save milk when mom goes back to work. Let's get into it. First thing we need is a good old electric breast pump. You should have one by now. Most health insurances cover the cost of owning one. Some send it to your house before even having the baby, around the 3rd trimester of pregnancy. And some companies will ask you to go get a prescription from the OB doctor, and they will tell you where to get the pump. The hospital-grade breast pump is the best one to use. I believe some insurances have a specific brand that they send to the moms. So to be sure, give them a call and find out. A breast pump kit comes with the electric breast pump. So if you already have it before the baby's born, I encourage you to bring it to the hospital and ask for the lactation consultant to go over it with you if you are a first-time mom. The flanges have different sizes, so make sure you use the one appropriate for your breast size. Next, figuring out when to start pumping. You can start making a milk stash at least a couple of weeks before you go back to work. I mean, it would be awesome if everybody can just work from home, right? Then we don't have to worry about these things. But no worries, mama, you can do this. Pump 1 to 2 times every day for about 15 to 20 minutes each time if you are using a double setup electric breast pump, just like when you are breastfeeding. It will save you time if you pump both breasts at the same time, but if you prefer to pump one breast at a time, I'll say pump for 15 minutes on each side of the breast. So let me mention it again. Do 1 to 2 pumping sessions at least a couple of weeks before you go back to work. The best time for you to pump is early in the morning because the supply is more during these hours. Then maybe you will ask, will there be enough left for my baby? Of course there will be enough. If you prefer, you can breastfeed on one breast and pump the other. It might be tricky though. How to do it? You can always ask Dad to help you out in the beginning. You probably can hold the flange, making sure there is a tight seal on one breast while you concentrate on breastfeeding on the other breast. I mean, you don't have to do it this way, but it's just a suggestion. So your other question might be, should I pump before or after breastfeeding? I'll say pump in between the feedings. If you have further questions about what I just said, drop a comment below and I will do my best to address any questions you might have. And if you are loving this content so far, click on the like button and share it with your friends who you think will find value in our content for the day. Before we move on, let's talk about pumping in the workplace. I hope you know that if you are an eligible employee, you should be allowed to pump whenever needed. The employer should also have a designated place for mothers to pump privately. This does not include the bathroom, alright? This is the law, and it is according to the Fair Labor Standards Act or FLSA. Have an open communication and give your boss or coworkers a heads up when you need to step out and pump. Be proactive and make a pumping schedule that your colleagues are aware of, so if they need anything from you, they can catch you before you go on your pumping break. I know it can get really busy at work, and that is why you need to create a schedule and try your best to stick to it. If you do 3 pumping sessions at work, make sure you have 3 separate storage bags for each session. Sorry, I have to mention that just to be clear. In one session, you pump both breasts, right? You can mix both of those together. Then in the next session, do the same thing. 1 storage bag for each session. Okay, I think we got it. Even at work, you have to keep up with your pumping schedule, which is every 3 hours too. Do not wait until your breast is about to burst before you decide to pump. Make sure you have the breast pads available, just in case your breast starts to leak. You can hold your pee for hours. Not a good idea, by the way, but you cannot hold breast milk. Also, bring water and snack with you while pumping, especially water. You need to be well hydrated while you pump. Pro tip, mama, bring your baby's blanket or a piece of your baby's clothing with you at work and put it close to you where you can smell it while pumping. You can also look at your baby's pictures on your phone. It will help with the flow of your milk and it will give you that feeling that the baby is with you. By the way, don't forget to label your pumped milk so you have the data available once you stash it in your freezer once you get home. Let's move on to the breast milk storage guidelines according to the CDC. Let me just say that different websites have different recommendations, so just get the rough average if you want to. The CDC website usually is my go-to, just FYI. Let me remind you also to please wash your hands before and after pumping, clean and sanitize the area where you pump before and after, and wash your breast pump kit after pumping. For freshly pumped milk, it's good for 4 hours at room temperature. 4 days in the refrigerator, make sure you're putting it towards the back of the fridge and not by the door, and 6 months in the freezer. 12 months is still acceptable. Wow, that's a long time, isn't it? Now, for thawed breast milk, it is good for 1 to 2 hours at room temperature, but use it within 24 hours if stored in the refrigerator. You should never refreeze a thawed breast milk. Make sure you have labels so you can write on the breast milk storage bags or bottle the date and hour when you thawed it. You have a lot going on, and small details like this can be easily forgotten. If you have any trouble with breastfeeding and pumping, you can always consult with a lactation consultant. Before leaving the hospital after delivery, make sure you have the contact number of the lactation consultant you saw. Or if you lost their number, you can just call the hospital and they'll be able to give you that information. Some pediatricians are also IBCLC or International Board Certified Lactation Consultants. If they are, they can give you guidance and recommendations regarding breastfeeding and pumping. I think that's all I got for you. If you find lots of value in our mini session for today, please click on the subscribe button. Happy watching!